Hi guys, welcome back to this channel. Thank you for stopping by and watching our previous video. This time, we're going to show you recommended anime in fall 2021 that you must watch. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe this channel, hit the like button, and ring the notification bell for more videos. If you are still confused about anime in fall 2021 that you are going to watch, then we'll give you a list of anime you must watch, including the storyline and depictions for the anime that are interesting. Here's a feed of recommended anime in fall 2021 that you must watch in your leisure time. Happy watching! Number 10 is Restaurant Another World 2. On the first list, we have the second season of the Restaurant Another World series, which previously aired in summer 2017. The series is adapted from a Japanese light novel series written by Junpei Inuzuka, with illustrations by Katsumi Inami. Although the studio is different, the second season of the series will still follow the life of Western restaurant Nikoya, which will be busy with various customers who comes from another world. The Western restaurant Nikoya is a restaurant situated in a mountain corner of an undisclosed Tokyo shopping district, which offers a lot of Japanese versions of Western dishes. Despite being an ordinary restaurant, this place also keeps a secret passed down through generations of every chef there. When the door from another world opens, it connects the restaurant to another world. Number 9 is Faraway Paladin. Now we have an adventure fantasy anime which is adapted from a Japanese light novel series written by Kanata Yanagino and illustrated by Kususaka Rin. It began realization online in May 2015 on the user-generated novel publishing website Shasetsuka Ninaro. It was later acquired by Overlap. The story begins in a city of the dead, long ruined and far from human civilization, that left a human child. William G. Maryblood was a human child raised by 3 undead creatures: the Bunny Warrior, the Mummified Priestess, and the Weird Mage. They pour their love into the boy and teach him everything they know about life. Number 8 is Sekai Seiko no Ansatsusha Isekai Kiseku ni Tensei. As been clear enough from the first episode, the anime will be so interesting to watch, especially for those who love a full action genre. Produced by Seven Link co-worked with Pilot, the series is adapted from a Japanese light novel series written by Rui Sekio and illustrated by Raya. The story begins with an old man who had lived his life as the world's greatest assassin. However, that time has passed and he wants to retire in peace. But what happened is that the pen he was on was crushed that made him dead. Awakened by a goddess who has a job to prevent the destruction of that world at the hands of the hero. Taking the new identity as Liu Tuade, the story will follow Liu as he swears to live his life as a human being and not as a tool. Number 7 is 86 Part 2. 86 Part 2 is the second part of the 86 series which previously aired in spring 2021. Produced by A1 Pictures, this mecha-action anime is adapted from a Japanese science fiction light novel series written by Asato Asato and illustrated by Shirabi. Set in the world that's full of war, the story will follow Vladilena Milize as she keeps to fight discrimination, and she's an elite Republican soldier who rises to the rank of major at the age of 16. Number 6 is Platinum End. Carrying 24 episodes, Platinum End is a supernatural drama anime with interesting psychological development. The series is adapted from a Japanese manga series written by Sugumi Oba and illustrated by Takeshi Obata. The story of a young man who tries to commit suicide, but is rescued by a mythological creature. Mirai Kakehashi is a student trying to commit suicide, but is rescued by his guardian angel Naze. This leads Mirai into various problems that haven't been thought of before. Number 5 is Mieruko-chan. Adapted from a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Tomoki Izumi, the series is a comedy horror anime produced by Passion. The main plot will present a young girl who one day is able to see horrifying supernatural creatures. Mikayatsuya is an ordinary high school student who has the unfortunate ability to see horrifying ghosts and spirits that haunt her and the people around her. Despite this, Mika does her best to ignore the existence of ghosts and tries to live out a normal high school life. Although it's not a nachi anime, the series will feature various fan service scenes that are quite interesting to watch. Number 4 is Komi-san wa Komyushu Dasu. Let's back to a comedy slice of life anime produced by OLM. The series is adapted from a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Tamahito Oda. The story will revolve around the lives of high school students with their more and less. Shoko Komi immediately receives an overwhelming surge in popularity due to the unprecedented beauty. However, it's different to Hitahito Tadano, an average schoolboy sitting next to her, who knows the fact that behind her perfect appearance, she has severe issues in communicating with others. Number 3 is Mushoku Tensei Isekai Itara Hanki Dasu Part 2. Mushoku Tensei Isekai Itara Hanki Dasu Part 2 still continues the journey of the main protagonist, Reduced Grey Rat, as he's reincarnated and reborn from the previous world. Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation is adapted from a Japanese light novel series by Refuji Namagonote. In addition to anime series, the franchise also got manga adaptation by Yuki Fujikawa, which begins realization in the June issue of Monthly Comic Flapper. Number 2 is Takt Op Destiny. Aired in fall 2021, Takt Op Destiny is an original anime produced by Madhouse co-worked with MAPPA, where it's a mixed media project about classical music produced by Bandai Namco Arts and Dana. Carrying an action enthusiasm and genre with a unique and interesting music nuance. Takt Op Destiny is set in 2047, a future world where music cannot be played freely because it attracts monsters called Titus that come from a black meteorite falling from the sky years ago. They had the music produced by humans and are drawn to the music source and attempt to destroy it. With the help of the girls called Music Code representing pieces of classical music led by a human called conductors to fight against the monsters. Number 1 is Blue Period. And the last list, we have an anime art in Netflix titled Blue Period, where the series is adapted from a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Tsubasa Yamaguchi. The story revolves a student who often deals with inner emptiness, besides himself is actually a popular student. Yatara Yaguchi is a very popular student who excels in school, but often deals with inner emptiness and frustrations. The story begins when he becomes fascinated by a painting at his high school's art club so deeply that it inspires him to try his hand at painting. Well, that's all the list of the recommended anime for 2021 that you must watch. Do you have any favorite ones on the list? If you do, let us know in the comment section below. Be sure to hit the like button and share this video as much as you can to friends if you really enjoyed this. Thanks all for watching and see you next time.